टीवी के ना कदा
Hello. Hello. Yeah. It's about to join due to new link. Yeah. So shall we start? Just a minute. I'll share my screen. Once you are able to see, then let me know. Meanwhile, we can discuss, friends. Everybody has completed the problem statement yesterday. I have given as a task of homework to you all. एक लास्ट में प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट आपको शेयर किया था मैंने स्ट्रिंग इन बाइनरी टाइटल से do you remember everyone we also decided in this way that today we will look out towards the statement that you have implemented on your machine. Anybody has completed? Did you receive the file yesterday? Okay. Dipali, you are from ANTC or CSC? Dipali, are you there? Any other? Okay. Okay. So let's take that question at start of today's session. Okay. Just a minute. I'll share the screen and we can move ahead on the same one. I am considering the problem statement yesterday I have shared with everyone. You are with that particular page itself. Once you're able to see, let me know. Next, sir, can you see my screen? Okay. So let's start then. So the problem statement was very straightforward. I'll try to zoom. Yesterday, for the last homework task, I have given this problem statement. Problem statement is like this. Given a binary string S, your work is to count the number of such a substring that start and end with 1. If there is no such combination, print 0. Okay, certain substring we are expecting that should be present at start and end also. If such substring having a string if we found in the input of the user, then we will simply print a single number 1. Otherwise, we will print as 0. For example, suppose you are given a string of 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. The total number of substring which starts and ends with 1 are 1, 1, 101 and 1101. So the condition is of given is end and start with 1. So like this, starting condition and ending condition is also provided by the user, and the substring calculation will be done by in our program. Okay. So input format will be in this way. The first line of the input contain as integer, which ranges from 1 to 10, which is the number of test cases actually. The test cases actually drafted for this problem statements are 10. That much number of input we can also provide here. The next line denotes the length of the string n. That means S can be actually the length of the string that may vary from count of 1 to the size 100. Okay. So once we done with this calculation, substring and counting individual 1, 2, 3 value, then simply we have to print the count of the total number of substring for which each given string is new line starting with and ending with 1. Okay, this is the condition. Okay, so here initially I have given one input, then the value 4 and 1111. This is the input. These are the three inputs. So what are those actually here? See the first of all input and output, then we will discuss. The sample input is in front of us and example also provided to us. The first input is the count of particular number, and it is of particularly size of 4, and the number has been provided here, and the output is here 6. That means what, 6 substrings can be framed for this particular input stream, for which it may start or end with 1. We have been explicitly provided that it should start and end, not or actually. So keep in mind and find the solution accordingly. For example, if I give a count is here as 2, two numbers I am inputting. The first string size I have given as 4. So the first string is 4 times 1 I have input here. Then second string size it is expecting, given the size is 5, and the 5 character string has been input here, that is 0 1 1 0 1, and finally the count is provided for individual input. As you know previously, for 4 times 1 a string has output 6, so same input is provided once again in sample. So the result for this 4 character string, the value is 6, and in case of 5 character the substring formed are only 3, where we can find start and end with 1 only. I hope so this problem statement understood by everyone. Let me get an reply from everyone. Did you get an idea what problem statement it is? This was the problem statement yesterday I given in a the PDF, Word file that I shared with everybody. Now did you understand what actually the question is? Yeah, some replies I am getting here. So let's start the coding for the same one. So as I yesterday suggested only, onlinegdb.com has an online platform to run a Python program. Try to reopen this particular tab as a temporary purpose. In case if any code will not run, then you can take that same code on this platform and run again quickly. Okay. So if you are finding any error, this debugger also will provide a proper information. And this debugger is not only for the Python, you can give an input for all these programming languages. Okay, so this platform will not only help for this preparation of the Wipro NLTH program, but apart from that, for your curriculum as well as projects and so many preparation purpose, you can utilize this site actually. Keep in mind onlinegdb.com. Okay, so here I am utilizing this platform for the Python purpose. Let's come back to our question. So once we understood this question, now let's proceed further how we can go ahead for the coding here. The same platform we have been given on the Wipro NLTH program. Question will be at a side, one left side, and the coding we can do on a right side. If you are changing the view, then it may in a horizontal or vertical way. That's a small difference. Okay. Initially we have to select which programming language we are supposed to utilize. So here I have selected Python, and let's start. Initially, I need to accept from the user. I'll try to zoom it here so that you can see. I think this much code is visible to everyone. Size of the element. Initially, I'm accepting the value. How many elements as a string I'm accepting here. T contains the count of number of strings, and for each string I need to accept some value. For that purpose I am creating here a for loop. will be of size t. Okay, for this particular range, let's perform some input. In first iteration or in each and every iteration, we are first tasked to accept the size of particular string. That's fine. I'm creating one more integer input. So once I'm done this one, then next task is to accept the string for that particular iteration. That must be the size of the specified one, otherwise you may get incorrect results. In this way, you are moving ahead for each and every iteration to accept. The first input is the number of string. With the help of that one, I have created a for loop for those many number of strings. In each and every iteration of the for loop, initially I am accepting the size of the particular string, that is the number of characters in that particular string, and then after accepting a particular string. Here actually the logic starts to implement this program. Initially created a temporary variable c is equal to 0, and then actually starting a for loop where I is a temporary variable in this for loop, which ranges from the 0 to the length of size, explicitly making this -1 because it ranges from 0. And here inside of that one I am checking individual character s of I equal to certain number, that is 1, because I am expecting start should be with 1. If I finding like this value, then I can proceed further for the same one. If s of I equal to 1, from that onwards itself I am checking a for loop. In this for loop I am trying to reach to the end for j in subsequent array. That means ignore the first one and move ahead, because first one we have identified in first if. Now I want to move ahead from I plus 1, means next character of that particular string. Now once I reach to the next character of input string, I need to again check it out whether it has 1 as a input character. So I'll provide here the input value j is equal to 1. Once I found this one, again the temporary variable that I initially created, I'll try to increment c is equal to c plus 1. In otherwise case, I'll try to continue. That means no operation need to perform in case of this one. This is the end of if, inner if actually. Okay. Once you are done this for loop, then go for the previous if. For that, if we have to write the else condition, it may possible that we didn't find one value at a start. Then what we have to do? We have to check at the end also. That's why we have made a continue operation here. Continue. Once I am done this one, then finally come back to the original position and print the count value. Count is in C. The logic once again, try to trace back on a paper how it works. Take some input and trace back this logic once again. If possible, side by side you can also code on your machine as I'm moving on. If you are able to see one screen with the code that I'm sharing with you, and on one other thing, if you are performing some coding, that will be the better. I am also tracing on my side. Try to take a small input. Okay, I'm done with my trace. Let me know any feedback or any input from the students. Did you initially understood the logic that I written on the screen? If option is there, then try to take a snapshot of this code. Okay, shall we run this code? Let's move. Because other problem statements are also with us. Let's compile and execute. Yo, the mistake is just simple. I need to print this value for each and every value. That's why I can take this aside and keep on a first for loop. Because this value will be calculated for each individual value. Now let's again take it out. Here is the result. You can see. I'll try to zoom again. What correction is added here is that the printf last print statement was added on outer for loop. It should be on an inner for loop because we have to get this result for individual element or the string that I am adding at start level. So in this way we will able to crack this question. So the major task of this entire question is we should able to manipulate a string in a proper way. We should able to identify the exact index of the character, where it is moving, how it is disconnecting from existing string, how it joins with other string, or if I want to make an exchange between a string, how I can achieve within a for loop also. Sometimes similar kind of question has been asked, but a slight twist can be asked here. For example, in this question only, as I said here, the problem statement is straightforward, that at a start and end with only one. This problem statement was previously we have tried in formal system and automata. What kind of question is asked here? Instead of start and end with one, they may ask that start and end with some substring also, like 0 1 or 1 0, like this. Or they may ask in other way, whatever the problem statement that you have tried in formal system and automata. If you are solving those problem statement in examination perspective like this coding, then definitely that will help you. Okay, in this way FSA or formal system automata problem statement will help us to define a problem statement this Wipro challenge. Everybody understood this problem along with solution? Let me know. Everybody understood? I'm waiting for your replies. Okay, so let's move ahead. I'm getting the reply. Most of your colleagues has given reply as yes. So let me move ahead for the next problem statement. If possible, you can take a snap of this question along with answer, so that afterwards also you can practice. I'll also share the solution along with question to you. Let's try the next question. Let me zoom. What is the question? The question title is the strongest string minus one. One of the another string manipulation question. Mega and Alex are good at string manipulation problem. Just now they have faced a problem relating to the string, but it is not a standard string problem. They have no idea to solve it. They need your help. That means they have tried to manipulate this problem in English word. Next, a string is called unique if all character of string are distinct. Okay, first assumption is this one. If all character are distinct, then we have to say as unique. String S1 is called as substring of string S2 if S1 can be produced from S2 by removing some character from S2. Very simple and straightforward meaning. If S1 is created from S2 by removing some of the character, then S1 is called as subsequence of the S2. Next, string S1 is stronger than S2 if S1 is lexicographically greater than S2. Lexicographically refers to the amount of characters. S1 is stronger than S2 if amount of character of S1 will be more than the S2. You are given a string. Your task is to find a strongest unique string which is subsequence of given string. Input is very straight. First line contains length of the string, second line contains the string. These are the input strings actually. And output we have to print actually the strongest unique string which is the subsequence of the given. For example, suppose initially I am giving the size of string and the string size is 5 and the string is ABBZX and the strongest unique string is ZX here. By considering all the parameters that they have given here. Read the question once again. I'll keep the screen for you to read out. Just go through once again the question that I shared with you. The terminology strongest means what, unique refers to what, and subsequence refers to what. They have already defined in above statements. We have to utilize these concepts and need to solve the problem. Done with understanding? Any query? Waiting for your reply. Did you got an idea exactly what is the question here? Second question I have told about just now. Second question I am asking. The strongest minus string minus 1. Question, did you understand? Any logic you can propose? How we can do this one? If possible, you can share the snap also. You can share the snap of the problem statement or the logic you have defined on a pen and paper also. I'll share the email ID. You can directly draft an email also to me. In between any problem if you are facing. Yesterday I forgot to share this email ID. I think so in last year also I have shared email ID. You can utilize the same one. If you don't have the email ID, then you can utilize this one. Now once everybody on the same page that everybody understood this question, then let's draft the solution for the same one. Here explicitly before moving to the problem statement, what they are actually demanding is that they are expecting the subject, that is the discrete mathematics. In discrete mathematics, you try to remember the sequence of the character and along with that what different properties were holding actually, then definitely you will come across unique subsequence and stronger strings concept. So the same concept they are expecting to implement with the help of any programming language. that just now we have selected to implement with the help of Python. Okay. So I'm expecting this, the logic that I'm writing here should be implemented as a single module to run as standalone by the compiler or interpreter. We can do this by correspondingly appropriately taking an adding statement like if and the name. Why I'm doing this one? To perform the execution in standalone way. Name and calling a function that I'm defining above this code. Initially, I'm drafting the code for standalone execution, and finally printing some value. In this fun, taking some input, script. As everybody remembers, strip function help us to print the result. This is the start of the code. In this way, we can start the coding. What actually input will work, and this input function will given input to which function, that we will define above the if, that is the standalone code. Till this point, I hope so everybody got an idea how we are moving ahead to solve a particular problem. Okay. Let me count the number of brackets here, whether it is correct or not. Yeah, it is correct. So above this one, I am drafting the code for fun function. How? A def fun, it accepts certain string. As input operation will perform some strip, and then it will give input to the fun function. Creating a variable maximum which gives me max of particular string, and the index of the particular value, that is the s dot maximum index. In this way I can find the index of the last element of the string, and then I am starting the for loop, changing from I. From end to start, I am moving ahead now in a reverse format. Okay, keep in mind. That's why I have identified the last index of the string initially. Change certain format. In that one, I am passing some value along with order with the maximum value, the last value, -1. Since it starts from the 0, so the max -1 I need to take it till this point to the last one, that is the order, the first one. -1 and finally the -1. Okay. The first value is the start and second one is the end, and the -1 refers to the reverse order. Okay. Once again, look the code, how I am moving ahead. I am explicitly moving very slowly so that everybody in the meeting should understand what I am actually drafting here and for what purpose each and every code is here. So simultaneously, if possible, please try to code along with me on your machine. I'm expecting a try catch block here, as we do in Java. Because in case of any exception, I should be able to continue the details of printing the operation or calculation. Here I am finding the exact index of the character, which has ith value, ith index. And this value is given to the index function. The previous int value will be incremented by 1 as an input to the index function. In this way, we are calculating the individual indices. Once you are done this one, the next operation is to increment this max value. Max is equal to max, that is mx plus ether function of I. Okay. If it doesn't happen, then in case of except condition, I must throw some error. Most commonly we throw the exception here as value error. In case of value error, I'm taking the action as to continue this for loop. It means ignoring that situation, ignoring that particular iteration, and move ahead for the next iteration in this way. And finally, at the end, I must return some value, that is return max mx value. That value I am printing here. So in this way we can find the input that I am printing and the existing output that I am outputting here. Just go through the code once again, how I explained, or if you are tracing this execution along with certain example, then start from the beginning, that is the line number 12, and then move to the fun function and sequentially execute it. Don't start from the first line of this code. I'm considering everybody is evaluating the code on their page. I'm done with my evaluation. Are you done? Let me see any message from anybody, any doubt. Okay, zoom in. One moment. Maximally I can do this much. One moment. I need to enlarge this and then we can go ahead. Yeah. So who's this one? Vaishnavi, can you see now clearly? Vaishnavi Vattepalli. Can you see the screen? Just unmute and speak out because I need to switch out your chat window again. So it will be more better if you communicate directly by unmuting. And see. Okay. And again saying that try to unmute and speak out. It's a two-way communication session, friends. If you are able to speak, if you are directly communicating with me, then and then only I can give some proper solution towards your queries and problems. So don't consider it's like a college lecture. So consider it is like a friendly individual discussion that I'm individually talking to you only, not a group of students. Don't bother about others, what they say. Just go on throwing your doubts so that we can discuss and dig down much more problem statements, difficulties. It may possible that if you are asking the question, that may be the question of any other of your colleague. And in this way also you can help others also. try to speak out frankly, because we have very less number of sessions with us. So within that session only we have to clarify as much as possible all your doubts and sessions. So we are trying our level best to give maximum to you. So accordingly, please try to respond. I hope so everybody has evaluated this one. Considering like this, I'm moving ahead. I can keep like this. This will be the last view where I can keep both the question and solution parallelly. Let me compile. Here we received the result. Sample test case passed, and the program that we have added here is exactly matches to the solution of this problem. So in this way, the solution can be proposed for the string manipulation program. Mostly you have to more deal with the string operation, specifically the numpy library that you are utilizing in background, or the formal execution simple way where we are accepting a string, splitting a string, connecting a string, identifying a particular location of the character by index value, or index value you have given, then you should able to identify the exact character that is present there. If you are practicing this all functionality in Python again and again, then definitely you will be able to come across certain good solution. Okay. Everybody understood this, the strongest string problem statement along with solution? Sir, can you take problem based on data structure? Yeah, the next question is relating to the same one only, data structure based problem statement. Yesterday also we have taken one of the linear data structure based problem statement, which was based on a stack. Today also we will look about some of the problem statement based on the data structure or searching operation and so on. Okay, one by one we are moving ahead, so that we should able to cover all the problems. Yeah, dynamic programming too, exactly right. One problem statement today I took relating to the dynamic programming, that is in the queue actually. We will look out that one also. Good that you are replying on a chat window. That's giving a positive response to me. Simultaneously, if you are unmuting and speaking with me, that will be more beneficial for everybody. Okay, everybody understood this strongest string concept, problem statement along with solution? Let me get a reply from everybody. Yeah, the first reply received from Nazmi. Others? Yeah, so by considering some of the replies here, I am moving ahead for the next question. Yeah, as who said actually just now, Kanak Jain. Kanak Jain, just you requested the dynamic programming based problem statement you need to take. The next problem statement is relating to the same one only, based on the dynamic programming. Let's see the problem. Be careful in dynamic programming. Mostly we have to go in backtracking fashion way. So we have to be very careful while calculation of each and every operation. So throwing the question in front of you. Just read out the question. Okay. I hope so you reached to the last point of this question. Once again, for all of you, I'll read this question. Danger has got an integer capital N, an n number of integer he has received. Now using his ghostly powers, he can create the permutation from 1 to n of this given number. That means he is using his magic, and with the help of that he can create a permutation from 1 to n numbers. Okay, so n number he has received from somebody, maybe the audience, or Ginger is a magical person, and he has accepted some of the numbers from the end users, that may be the audience, and from that n number starting from 1 to n, he is calculating permutation by his power. Okay, next question, next for ahead. Since he is special kind of Pokemon, so he thinks he deserves special permutation. He wants to find the total number of spatial permutation of length n consisting of the integer from 1 to n. Be careful, since they have said that he is a special kind of Pokemon, means he has a special ability, so he thinks he deserves special permutation. That means he can identify a special kind of permutation out of this 1 to n number. Furthermore, he wants to find a total number of special permutation of the length n. Means which are those special permutations that can be of exactly size of n and consisting of 1 to n numbers. That he is taking some help of somebody, in this way he is thinking, and he want a special kind of permutation that he want to show to the audience, so that he will be one kind of popular person in front of audience. In this way the question has been put a problem in front of us. Now the question is that permutation is called special means what actually? A permutation is called special if it satisfies following condition. Which condition? If a of p and a of q equal to a of p. What is pq here? It has been mentioned further. But if ap and aq equal to ap, then p is less than q. This condition satisfies in this way, where p and q are the two distinct indices of the permutations. That means how many permutations we are finding out of that permutation. If individual two number if you are considering, then out of that a and p combinations are present, and those combination results to a particular permutation value ap, then definitely the particular p and q value, which are exactly the indice of this particular number, are less than of each other. That means p is less than q, means index value of one element, that is p, is less than index value of another number, that is q. Okay, and a is the permutation itself, and a value indicates the permutation here, and denotes the bitwise operation. Very straight. Bitwise operator, you might remember, we have studied in this digital technique subject. Otherwise you might have remember the BEE subject in first year of your first semester or second semester. I don't remember exactly, but there we have studied the bitwise operation. Or otherwise you might remember the discrete mathematics. There also we have utilized this concept, bitwise operation, ANDing operation. What AND operation performs? If both the inputs are true, then and only it will results true. In all other cases it returns false. This is the concept behind a permutation is referred as special. Now ahead, help Ginger in finding the number of such a permutations. Such a special permutation we need to find with the help of our coding. The input format is set forward here. The only line of input will consist of a single integer n, denoting the length of the permutation. A single line of input, we are saying that a straight simple an array also can be said. You can differentiate with the space, and n number of elements or integer we are denoting as a length of permutation initially, and in output total number of spatial permutation length we have to print. Okay, so Pokemon game, you might remember, this is the icon they have provided to you, just to recall what actually it does. It was an old kind of animation character in those days, near about 2007, 8 or 6, 5, exactly near about that one. Now the constraint is that n refers to the length of the particular number. It should be 1 to 20. Now for example, sample input has been given as 4. Then we have received the answer is 8. How? Explanation is provided. Suppose all the spatial permutation for the 4 length starting from 1 to n, that means 1 to 4, the all possible combinations are these are 1 2 3 4 1 2 4 3 and so on. But out of that one, we have to identify the special kind of permutation. Special kind of permutation refers to AP and AQ is equal to AP. Okay, and the ending operation will result bitwise operation, bitwise results, and this bitwise result should give me one value that should be exactly equal to AP only. If it happens, then P is less than Q, and this condition will happen each and every time. Then the entire series of the permutation is of special permutation. I hope so everybody has understood this question. Any doubts? Everybody understood this question? Special permutation concept? Just as I mentioned initially, dynamic programming is not that much initially easy, but as you go on practicing and practicing, you will come across the solution, and you will also come across a logic where we always perform some backtracking operation and giving some particular solution. Okay. Now let's move ahead towards the solution. Solution is very straightforward and very simple, but the question is very bigger is provided to us. So that's why don't get panic at initial level that once you see the question, oh, that much explanation is of question. Oh, I should not think this question to solve initially. I should take other question. Don't think in this way. Once you have started with this any question, as in Wipro examination for 1 hour, we will be receiving 2 questions. Suppose you are reading sequentially one by one. Suppose you have completed 2-3 para of understanding one, and suddenly you scroll down. Oh my God, this much bigger question it is. So let me switch to another question. Don't do like this. Otherwise, it is a wastage of time actually. In by hook or crook, you have to solve both the question. That's the target. And the time you have spent to understand this much number of paragraphs, that will be as a wastage for you. So do not consider any question as bigger or any question as smaller. Once you started with any question, try to continue with that one. Don't switch between both the questions. It may also happen that once you do in this way, that switching from one question to another question, the logic can be mixed up with each other, and you will not get a correct result because the answer that you have received for a particular problem has been mixed with another question solution. So for that purpose, I request everyone that once you started with any one of the question, try to solve as much as possible attempts that you can do. If you are not finding any solution at all within stipulated time, you can decide a particular time, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay. This, if certain time has been finished and you are not finding any particular solution, then quickly jump to the another problem statement instead of reading both the problem statement. Okay. Or if somebody says that, sir, if I didn't read the problem statement, then how I can identify the easiest one, and how I can see that the easiest one I have kept aside and the difficult one I have started with solving, which took much more time. So for that purpose, you can simply take a quick review of this one. That may within a 1 minute time will help us. Just scroll down, just go through an overview look of this question. Okay, this is the question is related to permutation combination. Okay. Okay, so what is the input? Input is like this. Okay, so let me jump on the another question. Another question is like this. Oh, let me click on this one. This problem statement is like this. Okay. This is related to string, and another one is related to permutation combination. Now you got an idea that suppose you have received the question in this way only. First problem statement is relating to the permutation combination, and another one is relating to the string. Now you quickly take a decision that are you able to solve the question relating to the permutation combination quickly or the string related quickly. And as you decided, just stick on that particular decision that you have did just now or quickly once within a 1 minute. Okay. Don't get in confusion that the last decision was incorrect, I need to switch on like this. Don't do in this way. Okay. Let me come back to the problem statement, the discussion that we were doing here. I hope so this question everybody has understood. See now the solution that I implement here is very straightforward and very simple. this much bigger discussion that we have did, and the solution is very straight and simple here. I'm creating an array initially with certain numbers, and what I need to print here, I will check it out once again. Yeah, so I'm creating initially some inputs, and this input will be given to the particular calculation of the permutation values. Okay, let me start. Okay, initially I will give some inputs like values. Keep in mind this value has been identified specially for this permutation combination purpose. Then 177. You might be get jumbled here that what actually sorry is typing, but it's actually the numbers that I'm expecting to calculate for the permutation combination purpose. Special kind of permutation combinations purpose I am defining some inputs here. One six 80384. Okay. 1680 2680 384 2688 2688 6144. Yeah, this will be the combination for special permutation 21 82 59 and 456 2434 28 71 and last one is the 04. As we are moving ahead, you might see here that the combinations that I created here goes on increasing, and it can be at infinite level, but I am defining at certain extent. Bit 5 1 2 1 4 3 2 4 2 8 2 8 4 and 1 6. This combination just identified to move ahead for the permutation one. A is equal to some input, initial input. And I need to check in that particular index only. Okay, so value the amount of index value that I am providing, that value will be checked out here. See the result. Now let me take this one aside, copy, and to execute what actually it prints here. You can see it is waiting for some input. Let me say, suppose I give here value 4, and if I print 4, then out of this entire input array of size 4, I have found a particular number specifically where I am finding a multiple combination of size 4 which has a special permutation count is 8. Okay, so see the result, that very straight and single 2 to 3 lines answer is here, but the problem statement that has been kept in front of is very bigger and bigger here. because in Python we can directly find the permutation count in this way. So that's why whenever we read out any problem solution, just first of all read the question carefully and how it can be given a solution along with an existing facilities provided by the Python or any programming language that you have accepted to solve the problem. Think carefully. Okay, it's logic. Dipali, the logic is that we are here initially considering all the numbers, maximum size of numbers. Initially I am keeping in an array, and out of that one I am initially selecting the size, which size you are accepting from the user. User is providing the value is 4, then directly the array size I am printing here along with the combination size. For example, a is 4, so L in square bracket of 4, particularly what value it is printing, that logic we are accepting here. A of I refers to, for example, in case of 4, L of 4 is 1 2 3 and specifically this one is 4, and check this all number for this permutation logic, the special condition of permutation logic. You will definitely come across some solution. For this purpose you have to just solve the problems relating to the discrete mathematics where we found a permutation and combination concept. Dipali, did you get an idea what I said? This logic is relating to the permutation and combination, specifically DMS subject. All right. Okay. Let me take the next question. In this way, the dynamic programming works. Jain, you asked one question. Who? Kanak Jain. In this way, so many problem statements are present on internet. You can solve those questions quickly one by one. But keep in mind, whenever you are moving for the dynamic programming, first of all, complete all the fundamentals relating to the dynamic programming. That is how knapsack problem works, how NQueen problem works, how 01 knapsack will work. Backtracking means what actually works here. So many concepts covers under the dynamic programming. Initially you have to go through the basic fundamental things relating to the dynamic programming, then only you can directly switch on the problem statement that I provided here. Along with this one, some questions can be relating to the formal system and automata and discrete mathematics. So just go through the concept what they have provided previously, because the problem statements are always and always rotating towards the same way. Just they have defined this problem statement with the help of English words. That's it. This concept we have previously also studied, but in other way they have kept. That's why we are getting some confusion, or we are getting some time to understand this problem statement and to propose some solution. So whoever will be providing certain good solution within a less amount of time, he will be the winner of this round. In this way, the competition has been held. Okay. Let's try the next question. I explicitly kept the next question is very simple and straightforward so that you can solve this one also. Keeping straightforward question in front of you, just go through this question. I hope at least one of you can propose some solution over this question. If you have written on a page also, you can read out and say how we can solve this problem. Just first of all read this question and then try to tackle this one. I tried to make a full screen for all of you so that you can read the complete question. I think this font is visible for everyone to read out. Considering you all reading this question, I am waiting for all of you. Just go through this question carefully and try to understand what you can get here. Once you are done, then I'll also go on reading and let's discuss the same thing. Okay, let me come back. Any answer by anybody? Okay, let me read for all of you this question once again. Some people remains old-fashioned. John is one of them. He doesn't like the new smartphone with full keypad. That means this question is relating to the straightforward, the keypad related question. Okay, moving ahead. And still uses the old keypad which require you to tap a key multiple times to type a single letter. For example, if a keyboard has two keys, one with the letter A, D, E, F and the other one with the letter Z, Y, X, then typing A require one keystroke, that means one key press actually. Typing F requires 4 keystrokes. Are you getting? 4 keystroke means what actually? Suppose I want to get F, that means first of all I will press first keystroke as A, but in case of I want to print this F, I need to switch on from A to D, D to E, E to F, and for this purpose, to reach this particular F alphabet as a printing, I need to press the key 4 times. Similarly, in case suppose I want to print Y, then I need to take a keystroke of 2. That is, I need to press the key 2 times, and this way so on. So many keypads are present on this particular keyboard. This is an old kind of keypad. Okay. Now the next problem. He recently moved to the new country where the language is such that his keypad is not the most efficient. In every language, some characters occurs more often than others. He wants to create a specific keyboard for this language that uses n different letters. He has a large body of text in this language and has already analyzed it to find the frequency of all n letters of its alphabet. Very straight and simple. For he want to create a keypad for other language where he has moved, and in that particular language there are n different letters, and he has to analyze how frequent n alphabets or the letters are again and again appearing in the text data. He want to analyze. Okay, the next para. You are given an array with as frequency with n elements. Each element of frequency is the number of times one of the letter in the new language appears in the text John has. I'll repeat once again this statement because here an important concept has been provided to us. You are given an array frequencies with n element. An array has n element along with certain frequency values. Okay. Each element of frequencies is the number of times one of the letter in the new language appear in the text of John has. Means that John, whichever text he want to go on typing, in that entire text, individual character appear how many times, that count has been explicitly provided in an array. Each element of frequency will be strictly positive. That means there will not be a possibility that a particular alphabet is present in that language, but that alphabet is not utilized in the text, it doesn't happen in this way. That means each of the n letter occur at least once. That means for each and every alphabet, the count is positive value. That's it. Okay. And this entire value is in array. You are also given an array key size. What is key size? The number of element of key size is the number of keys on the keyboard. Okay. So the keyboard for which he has to convert that particular existing keyboard of the previous language into the new language where he has jumped just now. So the keyboard that he has exactly dash dash number of keys. That is the key size here. Each element of key size gives us the maximal number of letter that may be put on one of the keys. Here we can straightforwardly it has said that the combination that you are making here, you can directly put on any particular key. Each element of key size gives us the maximal number of letter that has been put here. That means out of this one only we have to deal with. You cannot add a new key inside the keyboard. Whatever is present, number of keys are present. In that one also you have to manage everything. So you may merge one or two alphabets also, or you can keep this one on a single keypad also. Find an assignment of the letter to keys that minimize the number of keystrokes need to type the entire text. Getting? So how many times I am pressing here, that strokes or the pressing count I need to reduce. In this way I need to arrange all the letters in the new language. Output that minimum number of keystroke. Finally we have to print if a particular key size has been provided to us, and in particular language how many characters are also present, and along with how many times it has been repeated in particular text, that is also provided. Then we have to give an output that a particular keystroke should have how many numbers or how many alphabets. Depending on that one, we can find how many times I need to press the particular key. If there is not enough room on the keys, some letters of the alphabet won't fit here. Okay, no room for the key, some letter alphabet won't fit. That means output is -1 instead of that one. Means there are that much number of keys are not present, how much is expected, then simply we can print -1. I hope so everybody understood this question. Before moving to input format and output format, let me check anybody has given any message. All set, all good. Everybody understood this question, what I just discussed with you? Waiting for your messages. Did you got the idea actually what I said? This problem statement is related to old keyboard. One reply from the Pradnya only I received here. What about others? Did you get an idea? What I said, old keyboard and foreign language concept based one problem statement. Looking to the question once again, input format is in front of us. What is input format? The first line will contain a number, that is n, capital N, that specifies the size of frequencies of array. That means the size of an array which indicates the frequency here. The second line will contain capital N number that will form the frequencies of array actually. Means how much element should be added, and that element should have how many frequencies, that is also provided here. The third line contains a number k that specifies the size of the key size array, how many keyboard buttons are present on key. And fourth line contains k number of that forms the key size of array. In this way, how many arrays I need to prepare for that one, that is the fourth line. And finally I need to print a single number, single integer, which indicates me minimum number of keystroke for the keyboard. Some constraint has been provided, all numbers should be 50 and 1000 in between. As we have been given here some input, sample inputs. The 4 number initially, the size of the frequencies array. Okay, arrays frequency size actually. And the second value actually here 4 means the elements that I'm printing here 7, 3, 4, 1. What it indicates? The individual frequency of the character. And the next one, how many number of keys you are seeing here? 2. And on that particular key, if I want to add alphabets, then how many key size it should have? That is the 2 and 2 here. Fourth line contains k number that form the key sized array. K number of key sized array. And individual element of key size is of particular above key. As a third and fourth, both numbers are different exactly, keep in mind. This is an individual size of an array. How many number of array like this? K number of ahead. And finally we have received the answer is 19. How it is? Just take it out. For example, a foreign language has a 4 letter only. Let's call them WXYZ. Okay. John's text contains 7 WS. That means 7 W's here. The text that John was having has 7 W's, 3 X, 4 Y's and 1 Z's. And these all alphabets are present in the new foreign language, which has only 4 alphabets. The keyboard has 2 keys. Keep in mind the keyboard has 2 keys because I have given a count as 2 here. Each of them may contain at most 2 letters. Initially we have provided if 2 keys should be present, then individual first key should have how many alphabets, second key should have how many alphabets. That is also need to provide. So as I initially 2 keys and individual key should have 2 alphabet only. In this way input has been provided. So further they have said one optimal solution is to use the key WZ and YX. This combination we have to utilize as randomly they have selected. Furthermore, optimally they have tried execution and this solution was the best one for them. That's why they have said the word as optimal solution, not the trial solution here, because they have calculated previously. We can then type each W and each Y using the single stroke keyboard, and we need 2 keystrokes for each X and each Z. Okay. Very simple and straightforward meaning has been provided. Once you go through this explanation, definitely you will get an idea. Just we need to understand the English language first. Then we can automatically understand the question and we will be moving towards the problem statement along with some solution. Therefore, the next line I am reading now. Therefore, the total number of keystrokes when typing the entire text will be 71 plus 32 plus 41 plus 12 is equal to 19. These are the count actually where the strokes or the count of number of elements or possible combinations they have created for individual element WZ, ZW, YX, XY. For individual combination, they have found the particular keystroke count and finally it has been added here in other way. That means unique value has been identified, unique number of keystrokes has been identified. Those are only 19. And these strokes has been printed separately. In this way it happens. This is the execution logic actually. Now we have to code for the same one. Any message from anybody? Vaishnavi, which line you are expecting to repeat? Let me know. I'll try to start from that line itself. Just now I saw the message. That's why I say that I need to switch out between question and answer. So just unmute and speak out there itself. Which line you are expecting, Vaishnavi? Are you there? Waiting for you, Vaishnavi. Are you typing some message? Or just unmute and speak out there itself so that I can explain that particular line. Oops. I'm considering that she might have disconnected or what. Let her take a call once again to give some reply. Meanwhile, we will go on adding some solution here. Old keypad in foreign land. Let's start one by one. Be careful. Once I go on starting coding, parallelly you can trace the code. How I am adding the code here. First input. Once I'm done with the input, then accepting the frequency in a particular array. In that individual x should be converted into integer for x in the input that I am expecting from the user should be splitted only for the integer purpose. Okay, individual element I am whatever the input user has provided, that user input I am converting into the integer and keeping in the array, frequency array. Okay, next this part is done. Now the next one is input of k. Input this k value, you might remember the number of keys present on the existing keyboard. Next is the key size. Now key sizes. Key sizes indicates the number of keys that you want to be, you are expecting that this much number of alphabets should be present on an individual key. That is the count of size key actually. So for the first button, how many characters should be available? For the second button, how many characters should be available? In this way, we have to give a series of capacity of individual buttons on a keyboard. We have to perform the same operation as we performed on the line number 2, because it is also an exactly the frequency count, similar kind of frequency count. Input split. Okay, once I'm done with the size of the keyboard along with the frequency of individual character in new foreign language, now actually the code starts here. Now look carefully and try to evaluate the code. Key sizes. Here n refers to the number of characters initially, and if number of characters are greater than the sum operation on the key size, then we should simply print -1, the last condition that we have printed. Generally this doesn't happen. We are expecting like this. This should not happen. Now next, the array, the input element I am receiving from frequency variable, initially performing the sorting operation on it and creating certain variables for future purpose. That means ahead we are expecting this variable to solve some of the solution. Creating a loop. Try to remove these brackets. Okay, so in this for while loop I am expecting that the frequency that count I am received from the particular array, that is the frequency array, that should not be 0. That I am expecting at while loop, and in every for while loop I am making changes in the frequency count. in this while creating an individual for individual string I in the range of length of key size key sizes. Okay, the size that we have defined above, that size length we are expecting, and according to that length the I should range from 0 to that particular value. Once I'm done this one, then creating a try block, since it may possible that there are chances that runtime error can occur. So at that time, the execution should continue, go on, or it should abruptly stop somewhere else. For that purpose, try catch block has been used. For more detail, you might have studied in Java, because most frequently needed part in Java is exception handling. Except index error. In case of exception, it should throw the index error. And if this happens, then what I need to do, I need to simply break. Previously, I think you remember that we have used the try and exception block. At that time, we have continued the next for loop, but here we are expecting it should stop there itself, because if the count goes on increasing and increasing ahead of the number of key number, then those execution is not helpful for us. It should be exactly appropriately matched to the count of the keys and the number of alphabets. That's why we are explicitly making break operation if the execution of this line number 17 will go on fail. I again repeat all the students that if you have opted the Python programming language, then daily basis, though you are solving the problems or not, but at least try to practice each and every feature provided by the Python documentation. I'll also show the Python documentation where it is. You can take the help of that one. I agree that the Python documentation is somewhat bigger, but it is a comprehensive document. Today it will not be getting completed by you, but definitely one day will appear if you can give a persistent effort. Definitely you can complete this documentation. Key sizes, and simply giving it in that if the count is particular value of e is equal to 0, key sizes dot remove in round bracket, passing the variable as e. Okay, once I'm done this one, switching to the first level of the indentation and performing some increment for the variable h. Initially we have initialized to 1. That value we are incrementing explicitly since the first execution has been completed in this way. H is equal to h plus 1. Try to make once again, because there will be chance of indentation error. Now I will make a changes here. H is equal to h plus 1. Moving to back, printing at while level message, print in round bracket total, and from where it arrived, total we have calculated here separately. Total is equal to total plus frequent of dot pop operation. Pop operation mostly is refers to stack operation related. The same concept is utilized in Python. This is the solution. Let me start from 1. Initially we have accepted the number of alphabets. Then in frequency we have taken individual character frequency in an array. The value k indicates number of keys on a keyboard, and the key size indicates individual key count. should have at least this much number of characters should go on printing. That is the key size actually. For example, I'm expecting that the keyboard that I am utilizing for this problem statement will be having only 4 keys, and out of that one, individual key should have increment order the count. That means first key should have only pressing for or keystroke for one alphabet. In case of second, I may keep it the keystroke should be of 2. In the next one, I may keep the keystroke is of 3. In this way, it may go. It's depending on the end user how it goes. Moving ahead, initially we have checked the count of n is greater than the sum of the key sizes. The sizes that I defined here should not be greater. Other, if it is greater, then I am simply printing -1. In all other cases, I am performing this initially the sorting operation, and the count is equal to 0 and h is equal to 1. H is for the temporary purpose we have utilized at end. You might have remember we have utilized this value h here. In while loop we are checking that once the frequency of the particular string has been reduced to 0, then while loop should stop. Otherwise it should go on executing for each and every string. Inside of that one, creating a for loop of the size of key size that I taken here initially. Keep in mind key size is of individual, character size for a individual keyboard, key button. That count has been taken separately, and for that particular size for loop has been rotated. Any individual rotation or iteration, total is equal to total plus frequency dot pop. Means out of that frequency is present here. Out of the frequency, one by one they are supposed to move on along with multiplication of h. H refers to the height of the particular tree. The data structure that we are utilizing here is stack. Out of that one, we are individually giving the height value. In case of any failure, exception will be thrown. Otherwise, it will go on executing continuously for all the iterations. Once done with this one, key size of I, that means I reaches to the end of the particular array. So for the last array, key size -1, that means first level of the key size has been completed. Ahead, next one, in this way it will go on for each and every I, and the execution will calculate the further key sizes by reducing the key size value one by one. As I am reducing the key size here one by one, the length will also go on reducing here. Next, again for the key size created the for loop, if I found an individual key size has value 0, key size refers to, once again see, individual key button should have how many number of characters should get pressed. Okay, if the count is 0 at the time, where it is, yeah, here, if it is count is 0, then simply we are removing that entry from our database, because 0 number of entries should be available on a particular key. That means there is no use of that particular key. That's why we are explicitly removing that key size. And in this way we are moving ahead one by one till h is equal to h plus 1. That means every level we are checking and checking ahead and ahead. And total count has been utilized in between in try block, so that it is a crucial task. That's why explicitly try and exception tags has been added before and after that one. Any logic question? Any doubt? I'll try to make smaller once again as I previously made. This is the straightforward logic. Look towards the code. Try to evaluate. Before compiling, I am expecting that everybody should trace this logic so that you will understand what actually I have given in this execution. I think everyone has gone through this particular logic of code. Any difficulty? Any question? Waiting for you all. The logic that I kept in front of you, the logic is here. The old keypad in foreign land. The answer is also I kept here. To understand this one, we need to just do some paper pen method to evaluate each and every input, how it is working and moving ahead. So the explanation that I kept in front of you, and also you might have did some of the paperwork also. Through this one, did you get an idea? Everybody, can you listen me properly? I'm not receiving any replies from everybody, so I'm asking the question to everyone. Did you get an idea what I said here? All are here only? Am I audible to everyone? Just take it out first of all. So the messages that I'm receiving the S, whether it is audible purpose or did you understand the solution also for this problem statement? The solution that I added in front of you just now, did you understand how I executed logically here? You can also take this one on paper pen method also. Okay, all right then. Let's execute this one. There has some runtime error. Somewhere we are utilizing an incorrect name. Line number 21. Yeah, here S should be there. Some typo error will occur. So just check it out carefully while typing any element. Yeah, here is the result we received. Here is the result. Let me take this code aside and let's me run on another compiler, because here we are just giving an code and asking that whether it will be executing correctly or not, but it is not showing the result to us. So let me take this code aside on another debugger. Okay, the same code I have taken on GDB compiler here, interpreter, compiler, both are here. Let me run here initially. I'll just make a bigger view to output. What input we have taken? Let's execute by sample input. Initially, the count of number of alphabets are 4 here. I'll give the count of 4. Then I am expecting that the size of a particular frequency of an individual character, that's 4 characters we are having. First character having certain frequency, second character having certain frequency. In this way, I need to add the number. Let me add the same value, that's the sample has been provided, 7341. Whether it will work or not, we can also take 7 indicates the frequency of the first character, 3 indicates frequency of the second character. In how was the sequence? 7341. 4 indicates third character's frequency and 1 indicates the last character frequency. Next, how many keys are we having? Only 2 keys are there, and every key should have two strokes only. So I'll input like this: 2 space 2. And answer is 19 here. 19 times a stroke will be placed on a key. That is a forcible stroke. Maximum amount of time key should be pressed is 19 times for this 4 alphabets combination. So result is correct. You can see here for this input we have received the output is 19 and expected was also 19. So we have explicitly also executed this logic that we have defined here. Very simple and straightforward. If you look out this question carefully, or the logic that I implemented, it's just nothing but a selection sort itself. If you check carefully, then you will understand. If you are seeing carefully, then it's a selection sort concept. You can see in while loop, we are selecting a particular length of the particular string. In that one, I am considering only the key size. Out of that key size, I am expecting individual I. That ith particular element is popped from the frequency and added into the total. And in this way, this will go on for the prescribed key size. And then after another keystroke has been selection is done, where we have to remove the number of elements which are unnecessarily added in the key size, because previously we have did so much operation of popping operation and added into the total one. Did you get an idea what I did here actually? Whenever you are solving any question, directly do not submit the answer. Instead, try to practice in this way that before executing or going to compile, take this on another debugger, solve there, identify some solution, check whether it is executing correctly, then submit here. But we cannot do this same way in examination. For in examination, such an error should not occur. For that purpose, while practicing, create another tab on window, which is an online debugger kind of, and once you implement any solution, then try to run on those debugger and then execute it accordingly. Everybody understood what I said just now? Everybody understood what I said just now? Alright then. By considering that this question has been understood by everybody, let me move towards the next question. Till now we have completed 4 questions. Let me jump on next one. A famous character on TV network, that is Motu Patlu, based on one problem statement has been given in front of us. Previous solution. What is the problem statement here? Let me zoom it and let's read one by one. Motu and Patlu are very good friends and they love to eat ice creams. Once they thought of playing a game, so they bought n ice creams from the market of varying heights, maybe the same or maybe vary. We don't know exactly the size of the height of the ice creams. They arranged the ice cream in a line in a random order initially. Motu started to eat ice cream from left to right and Patlu from right to left. Okay, the heights of the ice cream are known initially. We have been given in this way. Okay, what is the next then? Motu eats the ice cream as twice the speed of the Patlu. That's the secret of for his health. You might remember that he is very fat and he is very always hungry to eat something. That's why explicitly it has said that Motu eats the ice cream as twice the speed of the Patlu. If any one of them is eating the ice cream, then definitely other one can't have the ice cream. In this way, however, if both of them reach the same ice cream, Motu snatches it away from Patlu. He got more power than Patlu, that's why it may happen, and he eats it. The winner will be the one who will eat more number of ice creams. This is the logic actually. So what we have to do ahead? Since both of them are too busy in eating ice cream, they forgot to count the number of ice creams they have already eaten. Read now. The last part is very crucial. So whenever you are going on reading each and every corner, as you reach to the end of the question, you will come across the basic logic behind the question. The remaining part is for the fancy purpose or just to elaborate in more another way in English word. That's for that purpose only. What is the concept? Since both of them are too busy in eating in ice cream, they forgot to count the number of ice creams they have already eaten. Okay, that means they didn't concentrate on how many ice creams they have eaten, and they are just going on eating and eating and eating. Can you help them in deciding the winner? How we can do this? Note has been provided. Since winter has already arrived, so ice cream will not melt as it is freezing out there. So some funny logic can be applied by the coder or the evaluator, that suppose they have purchased near about 10 ice creams, then it may possible that it may melt. So they are explicitly mentioning that it is the season near about winter, so ice cream will not melt meanwhile they are eating. So don't consider that situation that it will go on melt or it will not be available till the last position when they will reach to the single ice cream. Don't consider that situation. It is available at all. Next, time taken to eat the ice cream is directly proportional to its height. Consider this way. Means if height is more, then it takes much more time. If height is less, then they take less time in this. Input has been provided here. But the first line contain one integer t, the number of test cases. T refers to one number, which is a number of test cases initially. First line of each test case contain one integer n, and that is nothing but the number of ice creams. Initially, n refers to number of ice creams. Second line contains the sequence a1, a2, a3 till a of n, where a of I denotes height of ith ice cream. That means suppose if I give a 10 number, then a of 1 will be the height of the first ice cream. A of 2 will be the height of the second ice cream. In this way, it will move on. So these are the inputs: count of ice creams and height of ice cream. What should be the output? For each test case, we have to print two new lines. The first line contains two spaced integer, that is the number of ice creams eaten by Motu and Patlu respectively. In first line we have to print, and in second line contain the name of the winner. If Motu eats more number of ice cream, then we have to print simple their name without inverted comma. Very straightforward. We can print like this. If Patlu eats more ice creams, then we have to print Patlu's name. In case of tie, we have to print tie also. That is also allowed. I think that this question is very straightforward, and you can solve this question by your own also. Can you solve this question? I would like to give this question to you all to solve one. But prior to that, I need to ask, did you understand actually the question, what it suggests us? सबको क्वेश्चन समझ में आया क्या मोटू पतलू का? Just check it out. So if I give this question to solve you, can you solve it right now or afterwards? But keeping an expectation that tomorrow you will bring some solution. Okay? So as Vaishnavi is saying, what about others? Can you solve this question? Very straightforward and simple. Keep this one as a homework. I'll give this question in a Word file also, so that you can read out. Okay. One more problem statement we can also discuss if you have taken this question for the homework instead of solving here only. Is it okay? If you are taking this question as a homework, apart from Vaishnavi, anybody has any problem for this question? Others, please reply, because I will be in a mingle situation whether to do or not in this way. All right. So near about 4 5 members has given reply as okay. So let me show you the next question so that we can again go on discussing question what actually the question can be. The next question is relating to the student arrangement. Before moving to the question, I would like to say this question is relating to the binary search. Okay, keep in mind. I think so. Everybody knows very well what is binary searching and linear searching concept. Let's come back to question again. There is a classroom which has m rows of benches in it, and n students will arrive one by one and take a seat. Very simple day-to-day activities. Every student has a preferred row number. Rows are numbered from 1 to m, and all rows have a maximum capacity, that is k. As we know in our classroom also, maximum capacity of each row has a certain number, and every row has an index, we can say, that's 1 2 3 4 till m, and every student has some of the preferences regarding the row number. You generally it happens in our day-to-day life also. When the college was there, you have decided that I should be sitting on a first bench, second row, third row, fourth row. In this way we have decided, and generally we sit on those row only as per our preference. Moving ahead, now the student come one by one, starting from 1 to n number of students are there by considering like this, and follow these rules for sitting arrangement. Some rules they have given here. What rules are these? Every student will sit in his or her preferred row. Okay. I'll make it again one more zoom so that you can see clearly. Every student will sit in his or her preferred row, means whatever his preference is there, he will select. But if the row is not full, then only this will happen, otherwise not. Okay. If row is full, then he cannot prefer. Forcibly, he cannot take somebody aside and I will sit here like this. He cannot do. Okay. That's why they have explicitly said. Next condition: if the preferred row is fully occupied, the student will sit in the next vacant row. They have explicitly said this one. Next row for n will be 1. Suppose if the row, that is the number is n he has selected and the last row has been fulfilled, then he will be taking next row will be of 1. That means in round robin fashion kind of concept. You might have studied the queue concept, circular queue. Once the space has been fully occupied at the end, that is the tail of the queue, then the next element will try to search the occupying space at a start. Similarly, if the last row is already occupied, and if a student is so much interested to occupy in the last row and it is already full, then he will now prefer to the next row as a first row. Okay, this happens with us also. If all the students are occupied, then the student will not be able to sit anywhere. Okay, these 3 conditions we have to satisfy whenever student will try to enter. Now next, Monk want to know the total number of students. Monk refers to the tutor actually. You can see here the meaning is also provided. Monk wants to know the total number of students who didn't get to sit in their preferred row. This includes the students that did not get a seat at all. Okay, so he want to know the count of the student who didn't find exactly the seat, whatever the preference he has provided. So for that purpose, how the input will work? First line contain 3 integers. What those are? N, M and K, where N is number of students, M is number of rows, and K refers to maximum capacity of an individual row. We are considering that if a K number is provided for a particular row, then same capacity will be for each and individual row for all subsequent rows. It will not happen like this, that first row capacity is different and another row capacity is different. It's not like that. That's why they didn't mention individual row capacity. They have in general mentioned that K is maximum capacity of a row. Next line contain n spaces separated integer. Next line contain n refers n spaces refers to a of I dot a of I. That means preferred row will be ith student that is the A of I. I refers to the ith student and A refers to the particular value on which he want to sit, the particular row he is expecting. And output we are expecting very simple and straight. Total number of students who didn't find a space to sit somewhere where he has preferred. So constraints are there for the input numbers, the nk8 of I. Keep in mind these concepts are that much important as much the question is there. But we are not considering this one because everybody can easily understand what constraints are there. But the question is that much equally important along with the constraint also. Okay. So the three number NMK, this number has been provided here. Now, what is first digit? 5 refers to N refers to number of students. That means there will be 5 preferences provided by 5 students. Okay, those are here. Next one, M. M is the number of rows. How many rows are present here? Rows are 2. That means student can give the preference in between 1 to 2. That's why all these preferences of the students are in between 1 to 2. The last input, that is the K. K refers to the maximum capacity of an individual row. What is the capacity of individual row? Sample input, that is the 2 here. And final output is 2. This is the sample input and output. I hope everybody has understood this question also. I think by listening this question, you might have recalled the scenario where you were sitting in a classroom by preferences of your friends. Right? Everybody has understood this question. The next one, the student arrangement question. Everybody has understood this question, student arrangement question. I'm not receiving anybody's message. Am I audible? Check it out. So the discussion that we have had for last 10 minutes was audible or not, we have to see. Did you understand? Once again I am asking, student arrangement question, did you understand actually? Very simple question was there. So I request everyone, as the time permits here, that very less time with us. I would like to give this both the question, that is Motu Patlu's question and student arrangement question, as a home assignment for you. I'm considering everybody can do this one as a homework. Will you? Both the questions. Alright then, I'll share the details of this question to your respective teacher. He will share you. Okay. So anybody is here as a faculty? Sir, are you there? Mike, sir. Yeah. For today, we have given 2 problem statement to them to solve. Just now we have discussed. I'm expecting that they will solve the question and bring back some solution. So let's stop here. Tomorrow we will continue again. Yeah. Thank you all for patiently listening. Good night.